For the women of the Second World War, hairstyles became an important factor of day-to-day life. With clothes on the ration and many women taking on typically male jobs, hair was used as an expression of femininity and a way for the wartime woman to remain womanly and true to herself in a world full of imbalance. Prior to 1941, hair management was relatively easy. In fact, the Hairdresser and Beauty Trade Manual went as far to report that from 1939 to early 1941, the hairdressing trade was flourishing. However, from late 1941, more and more hairdressers and their assistants were called up to join the war effort, and as a result, many businesses closed. Supplies were rationed and rapidly declining. Certain chemicals used in hair dyes and shampoos were prioritised for war materials in the forces, meaning women had to get by with scanty diluted supplies, or none at all. Cuts in electricity and lack of hot water posed hazards to the style of choice, the perm, as well as a lack of curl papers. However, women did not give up. Hairdressers had their own little secret ways of getting around rationing and lack of supplies, such as the use of green soap mixed with verbena essence in order to create the perfect replica of a high-end shampoo. The value of the upkeep of hair is perhaps best exemplified by the fact that even women in the services and the factories felt it necessary to maintain their bonnets. In munitions factories in the Northwest, 1942 saw the employment of hairdressers through Watch Committee recommendation, who believed hairdressing to have a positive effect on women's health, safety, and most importantly, morale. Other factories allowed women to have hairdressing breaks, or had self-run hairdressing clubs, which used a lottery-esque system in order to determine which lady received the weekly perm on offer. By this time, 1942, wartime realities had really set in, and so these women receiving hairdressing services were very limited in style. The situation favoured shorter, simple hairstyles that required fewer hairpins as they were heavily rationed, and fewer products. Short hair was also easier to keep hygienic and free from lice and dandruff due to shampoo decline. Further limitations were applied to women in the services, whose hair by rule must be kept above the collar, and women in the factories, who had to keep their hair off the face. The choice of cut then for the 1940s war woman eventually became the Liberty cut, a short cut incredibly diverse in its ability to be styled in numerous ways, all of which would comply with the aforementioned requirements. It received great praise in its ability to assist in reducing shampoo shortage and hairpin usage, while still being highly attractive. Many, including the fashion press, the Times, and the Guild of Hairdressers, encouraged the new cut, and women who adopted it became walking propaganda. As a style, the Liberty cut still resonates today, and is probably the most recognisable representation of women's hair in the Second World War.